So your YouTube video has been blocked. Now what do you do? Well, that's what we're going to cover in this video. Let's go. In my case, I received this block because I used some karaoke tracks, some backing tracks that I sung along to in one of my recent happy hour videos. Now we can dive in and view all the claims, which we'll do in a moment, but YouTube does actually give you some suggestions. If you scroll down in this email, you can see that here's the options that we have to deal with this block. Number one, we can leave the video as it is. Number two, we can edit out the segment. We can trim or mute or replace the content if it's audio content, and I'll show you where you do that in a moment. You can submit a dispute. If you believe that you own the copyright and you haven't used copyrighted material, you can dispute it, or you can re-upload the video. Delete this version, re-upload it with some new audio, and you'll be good to go. If we click this View All Actions button, it's going to jump in and show us all the details here in YouTube. The first thing to check is whether your video is fully blocked or partially blocked, because sometimes the block only happens in certain countries. For instance, with this one, if I hover over here where it says partially blocked, take a look at that. It's visible in a lot of the places where a lot of folks watch my content. It's not visible in Belarus and Russia. Now, I don't have a lot of viewers in Belarus or Russia, so that will help my decision, because it's only folks in those regions that aren't going to be able to watch this particular video. You'll also notice that there's this, not affected. So this means I don't have to worry. This isn't a copyright strike, which I may have received if I used, say, the entire song, including the lyrics, and I'm trying to stream whole songs. Because I only used a backing track, it's not going to affect my channel. However, because these are actually owned by other folks, it is ineligible for monetization. So they're kind of the three things to look at. Is it affecting your channel? Is it a strike, or is it just a claim and therefore not affected? Is it partially blocked or fully blocked? And can you monetize that content? Because sometimes if you're doing a full cover version, you can actually do partial monetization if you're part of the YouTube Partner Program. To get more details, let's scroll down here, because it'll actually show us each and every song that I've used here. And there's two different types. You'll see right from the start. This one is a composition claim. So this means I've used the melody, but I haven't actually used original audio. Whereas this one says it's an audio claim. So this one means that the backing track was either the original backing track, or it was so close to the original backing track that it thinks it's the real deal. Now, if I did all composition claims and it was an all covers show, I'd probably be okay. I'd be able to just leave it and even do the revenue sharing, which I've covered in other videos here. But as you can see here, the vast majority of these, because it was a karaoke style show, are audio claims. So what can we do with these, and how can we check each claim and what each one is actually doing? To start with, once again, we can hover over this and it will show us there who the copyright owners are. And there's different owners in different regions. And you can see there's all the regions and territories that is owned in. But this one isn't blocked. See how it says video cannot be monetized? It's not actually blocked there. We can then select an action, which is from those actions we saw before. Let's come down here and find one that has actually been blocked. There we go. Video cannot be seen or monetized. But here's the thing, this song, Freak by Silverchair, it can only, there it is, it's on behalf of SME and UMG, that's Sony and Universal, and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The copyright owner is blocked in Russia. So again, if I'm happy with this being seen everywhere in the world except Russia, I don't need to take any action on this one. The same with this one here. Again, it's Colombia this time, but it's Russia there. So you can make a decision based on the location of where the block is happening. If it said blocked in the US and Canada and Australia, where most of my viewers are, then I may want to actually do an action. Speaking of actions, let's show you how we can take action. Let's briefly show you these actions. So if we click on select action here, the first one is to trim out segment. Click on trim out segment and hit continue. Now what this will do, it'll open up a little mini editor window here, and it actually shows you the start time and the end time that's going to be trimmed out of your video. You can click preview the trimmed video and it will update the preview. I'm not going to show you this here now. because again, I'll get another copyright claim on this video if I do that. But you get that set there, you hit continue, and it will go and process that video, remove that segment. It does take a while, usually a few hours up to a day or two to actually process this, but then your new version of the video will have that segment removed. Keep in mind, if you've got timestamps on your video, you will have to go back and update those timestamps. So we'd hit continue if you wanted to do that. I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to hit cancel for now. Let's look at the next action. We'll hit select action again, replace song, and hit continue. This works in a similar way, but instead of trimming out that song, it'll replace it with something from the YouTube audio library. Yeah, did you know that there's thousands of free audio tracks you can use in your videos that will guarantee you don't get any content claims or copyright ID claims? Yeah, check it out. I've covered it here on the channel before, the audio library. It's very cool. So you can preview any of these by clicking here, and when you're happy with it, you can hit the add button, and see there it's going to actually replace your original audio with the YouTube audio library song. And once you're happy with that, you just hit save, and again it processes it, and the new version, instead of having that copyright content, it will have the YouTube audio. Great if you say walking past a shop and you didn't realize that 10 seconds of the audio that you had as part of your montage was a copyrighted song. This will replace it with a YouTube song. Just hit save and that'll be all done. We're just going to discard it for now. Your next action is this one here, mute the song. So if you don't want to add any audio at all, you can actually just mute it out. And you can see it works the exact same way here. It's found that bit, and you can say mute all sound when the song plays, or you can even mute the song only. But it says there we don't have enough information about this song to do it on this occasion. So if it's a very well-known popular song, sometimes you can just mute out the song and it does some cool little, probably AI stuff behind the scenes to actually trim it out. So you can again preview the muted video there if you want to watch it back, and then when you're ready to go, hit the continue button. It will do the cut for you and it will mute out that audio, and then once it's all done, your new version will no longer have that content ID claim on there. We're not going to hit continue though, we're going to hit cancel for now. And the final action you have, if you really are 100% positive and sure, you can hit dispute. Now again, make sure that you are positive that you are not using any copyright. And fair use, have a quick discussion about fair use here in a moment. Let's hit continue on that one. Here it is. Go through step by step. It will tell you all the details as you go through. You have to give it a reason, details, rationale. It's outside of the scope of this video, but you can look it up online. Just search YouTube content ID or copyright claim dispute, and you'll find out how to do it. And also the warnings of why you probably shouldn't do it. Fair use, I talked about before there. Whilst you can technically use a small amount of audio under fair use, remember, fair use isn't a legal right, it's a legal defense. So unless you really want to be going to court and hiring a lawyer and pleading in front of a judge that you've used this within fair use, I would just keep in mind that Sony and Universal and other music groups probably have deeper pockets than you do. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try it if you want to, but when you get copyright strikes against your account because you've disputed something and then it's come back and said, no, this is copyrighted content, yeah, please just consider that before you dive in. So if you want to go through that process, you can. I'm not going to in this case. And as it mentioned in that original email, your other option, of course, is to delete this video and re-upload another version. Now, this was a live stream, so it doesn't really make sense for me to delete it, and it's not blocked anywhere except for Belarus and Russia. So I'm going to leave it as it is. But if you did want to delete your video and then re-upload a new one, let's show you how. We're here in the YouTube studio. Just go to studio.youtube.com, go over to your content, go to either videos or live in this case. And what I'm going to do is scroll down here, find this particular one, which is this, the grunge hour, click on these three dots and hit the delete forever. Now, I don't want to delete this one, but you'll notice I did do a test version. I did this happy hour test, which also has a block, and I don't need it there anymore. So let's show you exactly how it looks to delete here. We're going to click on the options. We're going to hit delete forever. It's going to give us a warning saying this is permanent. It cannot be undone. You can download the video. So say you wanted to re-edit it before you re-uploaded it yourself in your own video editor, you can download it and then re-edit it and re-upload it. I don't need this at all. I'm going to click that I understand, click delete forever just make sure that you've selected the right video and that you're happy with that outcome. There you go, it's gone, including that block. So if you want to get rid of it immediately, you've just made a mistake, that's the way that I'd recommend you do it. There you have it, simple as that. If you do get a block, make sure that you check where it's blocked, what the impact is. If there's no channel impact and it's only blocked in some territories, you might just want to leave it. The emails can be scary, but once you dive in there, you'll find out that there's plenty of options. You have plenty of things you can do to get yourself back on track if your video is blocked here in YouTube.